This is Brian, and welcome back to this commentary playthrough of Super Mario World, and what should be the final session here. All I gotta do is beat Bowser. So we made a few attempts getting through, and I wasn't really focused too hard on beating it, but I was happier to get done with the special zone. But let's try the back door now and show you where that'll take us to. So, yeah, that lets us bypass those first two areas you would have to go to. Brings us right into the dark part here. So, it can certainly save you a little bit of time and headache. I mean, depending on what route you choose through the castle, they aren't all that hard, necessarily, but... Ah! And it also gives you a check mark, or checkpoint here. So, yeah, we should be able to just, even if I don't beat him this time, we can go straight in to face Bowser now. I don't remember how many hits he takes overall, but I know you have a few different phases of the fight here. Like it starts out with the Mecha Koopas. And I think they remain the only way that you can do damage to him, but... Here we go. Got 2 hits in right away. Yeah, now, got this phase, where you just need to avoid the fire, not really too much, and there's Peach. We'll give you a mushroom if you need it, but I do not. Now what's he gonna do? You gonna throw more Mecha Koopas, or is he gonna do something else? Okay, yep. It's gonna be kind of tight to get through there and not hit his propeller. Not too bad. Okay. Yep. Mess that one up a little bit. I think he'll, well, at some point at least he'll throw a couple more out. Damn it. Alright, that didn't go as smoothly as it should have been. I'll head back over here quick for my upgrades again. Power-ups, whatever you want to call them. Couple of feathers at the top secret area here. If I had to guess, I'd say I was about halfway done beating him. I don't remember exactly how many hits it takes, though. It's obviously more than 3, which a lot of enemies in Mario games, it seems like 3 hits is all it takes. Alright, speed it up, Bowser. Yeah, tricks. Here until he throws a couple of them out. Yeah, kind of figured that was going to happen. Well, I think Peach will still throw a mushroom out again now, and this time I'll actually take it. How he fits so many of those balls inside that thing. Must be kind of like the TARDIS, if you're a Doctor Who fan. Bigger on the inside. Got it. Alright. Alright, so now onto another phase now. Is he gonna do the fire thing again, or what's he gonna do? Yep. Part of it. Almost singed Mario's ass there. So, give him plenty of mushrooms. Yeah, now he does this. Which, simple enough to just keep running under it. And eventually he'll just stop. I don't think I need to do anything different. Okay, I think that's it. Her face looks kind of funny. Maybe that's just me. The shading on it's a little off, I think. So much taller than Mario, too. Mario's adventure is over. Mario, Princess, Yoshi, and his friends are going to take a vacation. I don't remember how long the credits and post-game is here, but we'll check it out. I don't know if it gives me anything different for the ending, because I'm pretty sure I beat all the levels. Sometimes I start giving my review during the credits, but this time I think I'll hold off on that because, well, I started this one off and we got quite a bit of time here. I'm not in a rush. Try to just let you enjoy the music and the credits for now. Yep, got all the different colored Yoshis here now. Eggs hatch too. Yep, 2 of each color except just 1 green. Now Yoshi's kind of the minority. Regular Yoshi. Yeah, there you got all the names for these guys if you're interested. Amazing flying hammer, brother. Super Koopa. A charge and chuck. Hate those. Sumo brother. Fidget Bill. I don't even saw any of those guys. Bonsai Bill. Yeah, Mega Mole. See them in too many places. Couple. Yeah, Dino Rhino and Dino Torch. Those were only in Chocolate Island, I think. And yeah, the Mask Koopas are the ones you only get after you beat all the special zones, I guess. Arg. Oops. Porky Puffer. Rip Van Fish. Yeah, that's right. Torpedo Ted. Boo Buddies. Fish and Boo. Eries and the Big Boo. A Dry Bones, Sparky, Hothead, Thwomp, Thwimp, Bony Beetle. Thwimp and Thwomp. I suppose Thwimp because it's a wimpy Thwomp. Ball and Chain. Grinder. They're kind of funny. Yep. Resner. I think we go through all the bosses now. Oh, nope. Not quite yet. But yeah, the Mecha Koopas, which we only saw in Bowser's Castle, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. Roy Koopa, Wendy-O Koopa, Larry Koopa, Ludwig. Didn't quite make it all the way around him, but it's there. And the end. I want to see if it just stays on this, or if you actually go back to the menu. I kind of feel like you should be able to get a clear where you have all of the levels completed. Maybe if you do a reset, and it'll come up there. I'm actually going to go ahead and check that out here. So I'm going to try to get it back to the main menu just to show you what my save file looks like. So I'll be right back. Okay. There you can see we got Mario B. 96 with a star next to it. I'm pretty sure that is the complete game save. Let's just go into it and show. Okay, so it put me there. Pretty sure Bowser's Castle is still there, like you don't save it after the fight. Go in and double check that. Yeah. Alright, but there we have it. That's it for Super Mario World. All levels completed. Not the prettiest and not the fastest, certainly. But we got it done. You don't have to be a great platformer to beat this game because it's not the hardest game, but it can still provide a challenge for you. Especially if you want to try to challenge yourself by, like, maybe not using the cape to fly over some levels or stuff like that. Anyway, I'll just give a short review here. Some of my thoughts on what's good about this game and what's not so good, maybe. Certainly going to be more good than bad because this is an awesome game. One of the most iconic games for Nintendo or for all of gaming, for that matter. So, first thing I want to touch on is, well, gameplay. It's just smooth, the power-ups are great. You could go through the levels, and for the most part, once you get a feel for them, it's pretty easy to make it through most of them. You do need a little trial and error on some of the tougher ones, but I think just about anybody that has enough patience can kind of get through it and play through it. I don't know. Because I don't consider myself be that great of a platformer, but I can still beat all the levels. Just took me a few tries on some of them. Like that awesome level in the special zone. That one took a few tries. Getting a little frustrated, but I made it. Yeah, I already said about the power-ups, but just want to put a little more on that here. Like, the cape is one of my favorite Mario abilities in all of the games that I've played, at least. I didn't go too far into the newer Mario games. I know, like, not too long ago, Super Mario Wonder came out for Switch, and I've heard a lot of people really like that one, so if I ever get to the point where I can get a Switch, I might try that out and see what I think, but for now, I would probably say this is my favorite Mario game that I've played. Between this and Super Mario 3 for the regular NES. I've also played Mario 64. That one's pretty good too. I'd still pick this one and Mario 3 over that probably. And part of that is because of the power-ups and the gameplay. And the level design, I think, is pretty good. They give you a little bit of variety because you do get a few different types of areas. Like, you have the castles, you got the fortresses, you got the ghost houses. They're not all my favorites, but I mean, I like the fact that they give you something different to deal with. You got water levels, you got scrolling levels, auto-scroll. You got levels where you're platforming in the sky. Yeah, got a little bit of everything. I think it keeps it from getting boring if you go through all of them, because you do have a little bit of that variety here. And as I mentioned, I'm not that great at platforming. This game does a pretty good job with it still, I think. It's pretty smooth. Like, even the small jumps, I think it makes it pretty easy to make it, especially if you have the cave, so you can kind of slow yourself down a little bit and float. That helped me in quite a few places. That's why I kept going back and forth to get my power-ups all the time. I hope that wasn't too annoying, but I decided I didn't want to cut that out because I wanted to make it more of a complete experience for the playthrough. And this isn't a super long game anyway, so I didn't think it would matter too much for most people. You can always fast forward that stuff, I suppose, if you don't want to watch it anyway. But I appreciate everybody that did watch. Another thing that I think is pretty good about it is the difficulty level. Because it's pretty easy in some parts, and even just making it through the game, I think it can be pretty easy overall. You kind of have to go out of your way to access some of the harder levels, but I think that's good because it makes it open to a variety of players that way. Like, if you want more of a challenge, you can unlock the secret exits on everything, and you can unlock the special zones with the Star Road and all that. But if you want to just go straight to Bowser, I mean, you can do that too, so it can be really short in that sense. Like, I suppose, even if you're not a speedrunner, you could probably make it through this game in about an hour if you just go straight to the first Star Road area and then go around the Star Road. An hour might be cutting it, or that might be pushing it for most people, I don't know, but it still isn't going to be several hours, though. That also kind of ties into my next point I wanted to make. The length of the game. I think it's just about right for this kind of game because you can do it really shortly or quickly, as I stated before. But there are so many different levels that if you want to try to do everything, especially if you want to get all of the exits to every level, you'd end up putting quite a bit of time into it. Like, I have experience with this game, and we ended up putting in around 7.5 hours into the game here. So, I don't know. Other than if you're talking about like RPGs, that's quite a bit of time to put into one of these older games. In like the first Mario game, you could probably beat that in an hour. I've seen people run through it in like 15-20 minutes. I mean, if you really know what you're doing. I'll probably try to get through that one eventually, and it'll probably take a couple hours to get through it just because I'll try to be thorough about everything and not use warps and all that. So, who knows? It might take even 5 or 6 hours at that rate, but probably shouldn't. I'm just not as familiar with it, and it's a little older, a little more clunky than this one. It's not quite as smooth. So, yeah, with that, I do have a couple of things I wanted to mention that I didn't exactly enjoy that much, but it's more a matter of personal preference, I think, not saying that it's a bad game for it. Like, one thing I didn't like is some of the enemies in the game that frustrated me, but that's just more me, probably, than saying the game's bad. Like, in the swimming levels, I didn't like those pufferfish guys, or the ripman fish guys. Just kind of annoyed me. What were a couple of the other memorable ones for me? Well, the charging chuck guys, football players, and the guys that throw baseballs at you and stuff. Anytime I'd see one of those, I was just kind of like, oh, god damn it, there we go again. So that's one of the ones that stands out the most to me. Feel free to comment and let me know if you have any individual enemies that you really didn't like in a game like this, in this game in particular, or any other for that matter. And another thing that I suppose I would put as a slight criticism is the Yoshi abilities. I like Yoshi in this game. He adds a lot to it, and he can really help you out in a few areas. But the fact that they put in different colored Yoshis and gave them different abilities, I feel like they could have done more with that. Maybe that's just me, but I kind of wish that they did a little more with that, gave them a few different special abilities, maybe. Like the yellow one, I'd mentioned when I was going through it, I don't even know if he did anything different than the green one. So it's just a matter of having a different skin color for him, and I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy that's that impressed by that kind of thing necessarily. But some people might be, so each his own. Last thing I wanted to mention is, and I had kind of gone into it a little bit, but with the difficulty and all that, the cape, as I'd mentioned, I really like the cape, but there are a few areas where it does kind of make it tempting to just use that and make it really easy to get through a level that would have been pretty hard otherwise. Like, I did utilize it for a couple of those special levels. Some people might consider that to be a cheap way to do it, and they might be right, but just wanted to kind of get things rolling and keep things moving and not get stuck on one level for too long. So I'm overall happy with the way I did things. And if you can control yourself, I guess, you can always just opt not to use one. There is that too. Overall, this is just one of those really great games. Got to rank up there as one of the best video games of all time, I'm sure. And especially on Super Nintendo, I'd put it right up there with my favorites. It'd be in my certainly top 10 for Super Nintendo games. Maybe top 5? The only reason I probably wouldn't put it up higher is just because it's not exactly my favorite genre. I tend to stick to like RPGs, that type of stuff. So I'd put like the Final Fantasy games, Chrono Trigger, Zelda. Those are the ones that would probably go ahead of it. Even something like Secret of Mana. Maybe. It's still certainly going to be like a 9 out of 10 or somewhere around there. So not taking anything away from it. Just my personal preferences. So, on this time slot, next, I discussed it a little bit last time and in a few of the other episodes, but I think what I'm going to try to do is I will revisit some of the Mario games. The next Mario I probably do will be Super Mario 3 for the NES. But I'm going to shift away and start doing a few Mega Man games, I think. I don't know if I'll try to get through 2 of them before I switch back to something else, or if I'll just do 1 and then switch off. But I am going to go back to Mega Man 1 for the NES will be the next one I do here. We'll do that starting tomorrow. I do still have some Zelda games that I want to do, like Zelda 1 and 2 for the NES, and several Mario games, including Game Boy, NES, Mario 2 for the SNES, Yoshi's Island. But there's a lot of... that'll be a little ways down the road for all of those. So, we'll call it here for today and pick up tomorrow with Mega Man 1. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, please like, comment, and subscribe or follow, and we'll catch you next time.